What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV. It is preview day once again. The Champions League has come back around. 3 games to go in the group stage, and we're going to get into all the nitty-gritty a bit later in the stream. But we've got a Tottenham update to bring you first, as Spurs have announced part of their pre-season tour already. Quite early for it, to be fair. Spurs have announced they are going to Australia to compete in the Sydney Cup alongside Sydney FC and Chelsea. They first play Sydney FC on Wednesday the 29th of July and then Chelsea on Saturday the 1st of August. I believe the kickoff times in England are going to be something crazy like 5 in the morning or 6 in the morning or something.
Well, they do their timings, don't they, Spurs? As soon as Ange is gone, they're now going to Australia for a pre-season tour. I've seen a lot of pundits in Australia, and they don't take too kindly to Tottenham these days. They're like public enemy number one there for sacking their Lord and Saviour. But, look, exciting for Tottenham. But I don't know if we're going to go, or I don't know if we'll be able to we'll have to cover it at 5 a.m. It's going to be crazy.
Most definitely going to be covering it, that's for sure. That's a certainty. But it's interesting. Australia for pre-season, still kind of like this Premier League stuff going on in the States every single summer, and Spurs are never involved. I kind of like those games. I'd like Spurs to be involved in one of those one year. One year. Not going to be this year, but it's their winter, isn't it, when we're going? Australia, yeah. But I don't think it ever gets that cold there. I think, in their winter, like it's still like 20 degrees or like mid 15 degrees or something like that.
We're expecting a hero's welcome for Tottenham there?
No, not at all. I think Spurs could get booed, to be honest, by the Australian faithful. To be fair, though, Spurs do have quite a big following in Australia.
Any chance we go there and Ange gets brought out at half-time?
Ange will definitely be covering. He'll probably be the pundit, won't he?
Yeah, the pundit in the studio, like laying into Tottenham.
Yeah, but it'll be interesting. But I'm quite excited for it. Obviously, Spurs have been to Asia the last couple of years and changing up, going to Australia this time.
What they need to do is, before the game, get Ange to bring out the Europa League trophy for all the fans out there. That'll get everyone back on side.
This was probably signed and sealed when Ange was our manager.
Yeah, I reckon
that's probably what the situation was.
These things get agreed long in advance, don't they?
Because when we were in Korea 2 years ago, I heard from people there that Spurs are going to Hong Kong next year. So that was already agreed a year in advance. So this is probably the same.
I see. Well, didn't factor that in when they sacked him, did
they? Next up, team news, injury news. So Frank's been speaking in the press conference. He said, on Destiny Udogie, he's picked up a hamstring injury and he's going to be sidelined until January, which is not great news when you've got games coming thick and fast and only 2 recognised fullbacks now in the squad in Jed Spence and Pedro Porro. Albeit Jed Spence had a top quality display against Brentford, but there's going to be no rest at all during this period, unless maybe Archie Gray can fill in at fullback. You've got Ben Davis there, that's fit as well. But in terms of like quality options there's not much there.
Yeah, and every year we leave ourselves short in this position. Every year it costs us. We always pick up an injury. It's happened literally time after time.
And it's usually Destiny Udogie.
And it's not his first hamstring, is it? He had, I think, last season he got a hamstring injury. I think maybe even the season before. I can't remember if it was a hamstring, but picked up an injury as well in the season before. So it's now becoming a real persistent issue with Destiny trying to keep him fit. And I love him to bits. I think he's a great fullback when he's fit and when he's available. But unfortunately, it's becoming a real issue for us, isn't it? But then again, he is very young, so maybe it's something he can get over. But right now, we just can't seem to. He can't seem to get a consistent run where he just stays fit. And the most annoying thing is he just did an interview, but it must have been before the Newcastle game when he said he was doing it for Puma, I think, and he said, he's never felt better. He's felt the fittest he's ever been, and then the next we know he's got a hamstring injury and he's out till at least January. Let's hope it's not longer, but it's not great. And look, hopefully Spence can continue how he's playing. To be fair, Spence is pretty robust. I feel like he's one of those players that can kind of take it. He can play a lot, and
we know Porro can as well.
We know Porro can, but can they keep up their standards? That's the question. Because we know Porro, when he plays too much, he starts to wane a bit. Hopefully the same doesn't happen with Jed.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to pick our moments when we can rest these players and put an Archie or a Ben at fullback. And I think tomorrow night should be one of those moments, to be honest, because you're looking at these Premier League games, they're tough. And out of all the runs that we've got from now until January, this is probably our easiest game.
To be fair, though, between tomorrow and Saturday, Was Saturday or Sunday?
Sunday.
So there's a pretty decent break there. So you could probably get away with it.
Yeah.
And then I don't think we have a midweek game next week.
So our game after Forest, who have we got? Is it Liverpool, the next game after that?
I think so. Forest and then, Liverpool. So it's, no midweek game.
Yeah, so you've got to go full. So when's our next midweek game after that?
There's no midweek game after that as well. It's Palace and then Brentford is midweek. So I think we could be all right for the next
So we got
few.
no midweek game after this until the new year?
Yeah.
Okay, so we should be all right then.
We should be all right.
Yeah. All right, and more injury news as well. He mentions that Brennan Johnson's availability is touch and go for this game. I thought, if he was fit, he probably would have started. Obviously, he's going to have a late fitness test and judge it tomorrow. But, I didn't know anything about a Brennan Johnson injury until now.
He was on the bench, wasn't he, last game? So I'm guessing he must have picked up an injury in training, or something like that, which is not great. Looks like Kudus is going to have to hold the burden, but again, hopefully we'll be all right with the gap we have in between games. But Kudus just looking at his fresher, so it'll be nice to give him a bit of a rest tomorrow. But looks like not going to be able to, unless we play Odebear on the right. But then
could play Odebear on the right. We'll get into it in our predicted lineup. But Brennan Johnson is a doubt going into the game tomorrow night. And in surprising news as well, in the training footage today, you saw James Maddison on the grass going to hug Thomas Frank, and he wasn't involved in training or anything like that, so don't get too excited. But it's positive to see him on the grass with training staff. Yeah,
and it's great that he's taken the next step in his recovery. Frank did say he's still very early and we're not going to see him for a long time. But it's interesting when you look at that video he did for his YouTube channel. The doctors were saying, ACLs can obviously take between 6 to 9 months to heal, and you can get back playing. But he said in the ACL he had and his type of body or whatever, the signs point to it being more on the quicker side potentially than the one that takes longer. So maybe we might see him earlier than people expect. But look, there's no point putting any pressure on him. I don't think there's any. Look, we're not going to see him and probably until earliest March at the very earliest, I'd assume. But it's great that he's taking that next step. Is he back on the grass before Solanke? On Kulusevski?
It is crazy to me that we've seen Maddison in training footage that put by Tottenham before Decky and Solanke.
It's nuts.
It's just nuts to me.
He did his ACL literally in July. Crazy. But he looked in good spirits, and I'm sure he's absolutely itching to get back on. We're going to also see him tonight on MNF.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be tuning into that, see what he's got to say.
Definitely. Definitely looking forward to that and see what he has to say for himself. It's a good point, actually. Steve mentions in the comments, isn't Johnson suspended for this game?
I thought it was last game.
Was it just a one-match ban?
Yeah, because it was yellow.
It was just a one-match ban. Yeah.
Oh, no, it was a red. But I'm guessing, I think it's a one. Actually, it might have been 3. But he says he's injured, doesn't say he's suspended.
Yeah.
So I think it was a one-match ban.
Okay. And last but not least, potential transfer rumour here from Court Offside saying that Tottenham are exploring a move for Marcus Rashford next summer if Barcelona decide not to make his loan permanent. Arsenal and Chelsea are also monitoring the England forward situation closely.
Arsenal and Chelsea.
Would you want to see Marcus Rashford at Spurs?
I think he's doing all right at Barca, to be fair.
15 goal contributions in 19 games.
Very all right. He's doing really well. And obviously, he had quite a good loan spell at Villa as well, which I think they wanted to keep him on, but they just couldn't get the finances to work. I think there's obviously a very good player in there. Tuchel seems to think he should be our starting left winger, doesn't he, for England? So he really believes in him. He doesn't believe this narrative that he's finished or anything like that. So I would take him. I think if you're looking to add goals to the front line, I think he's a prime candidate for that.
Yeah, I was against it before he went to Aston Villa, but I actually think it would be a really good move for Tottenham Hotspur. I think, it's clear to see Marcus Rashford has a lot of quality, always has had.
I don't get why he isn't playing for United right now. Doesn't make sense to me.
Well, he's not playing for United because it just got stale for him there, and he wasn't buying into it. And it was just going wrong for him there, and he just couldn't seem to up his performance levels.
I think they just need a manager that can get the best out of him. There's no reason why he would easily get in that United team right now.
Yeah, of course, but he should have got into it when he was on the bench, stuck in the bench, when he was there. So I don't know. Kind of sometimes players just need to move on to get the best out of them, and I think this was one of those cases.
Yeah, but everyone Amorim seems to have let go, seems to be flying.
Yeah.
So I think there's something to that as well.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, United have just been, I don't know, it's just been like such a bad atmosphere there. And, as you say, even Anthony, he's been clowned upon by his whole Manchester United career, and he starts flying for Betis. So if it was a genuine possibility, I would like to see Rashford at Spurs, to be honest. And he's a player that can play up front and on the left as well.
I think if Amorim's not there next year, I think there is a chance he goes back to United.
If he wants to. I don't know if he wants to go back.
I think he's a United lad. If there's a chance that he could go well, I think, look, it turned toxic because he wasn't playing well, he wasn't being picked, all this kind of stuff, and he was getting frustrated. But I think there's a manager who believes in him and there's a system that can work for him. Why not?
Yeah, maybe. But, I don't think it's like any realistic chance of happening, to be honest. The wages that he's on, he's at Barcelona now doing very well. And I think they like him there. I think Barcelona will probably try and sign him, won't they?
There's mixed reporting on that. Like some saying that they want him, some saying that they're not going to be able to afford the wages permanently. So I guess we'll see.
Yeah. All right, so that is your Tottenham update for today. We are going to move swiftly on and talk Champions League football and talk Tottenham Hotspur and get straight into our predicted lineup for the game. And it's actually a very hard lineup to predict. Thomas Frank did say that he's going to keep the same core but make changes for the starting lineup. In terms of the injury news, we've got a mounting injury list again, don't we, Sim?
Yeah, you can never go too long without it growing. So Maddison obviously pictured in training, but he's going to be obviously unavailable. Kulusevski nowhere near available. Dragoshin, again, he's spotted with the team, but didn't say he was available, so I'm guessing he's still unavailable. Solanke, God knows. Yves Bissouma, likely to be sacked after another balloon gate. Desi Udogie obviously has a hamstring injury, so he's going to be out. And Brennan Johnson, he says is touch and go going into this game, so we'll see if he's available to play.
Yeah, and obviously Matisse Tell not in the squad.
And he spoke about that. He said, he was asked, can Matisse Tell potentially be brought into the squad? Because Solanke's is he anywhere near ready, and is it worth having Tell? He said it's under consideration, but we've also got to consider the players we have available and the firepower we have, which is a very confusing answer. It kind of told me, is that a roundabout way of saying no, he's not going to be, but I don't understand why not. Like,
he
why
said,
not just bring him in?
If I knew then what I know now, I would have put Tell in the squad. So, well, you know what you know now, and you can make the change, so why don't you just make the change?
Yeah, exactly. But he also said, what did he say? I was confused. He was asked about it. He said, I think there's some consideration with players we have available to have the most possible weapons to fire with. So is he just saying we have enough? Basically, we don't need to bring him in. But why not have an extra player available? It doesn't make sense to me. Why have an injured player there unless he's saying maybe Solanke could be back at any moment, but at the moment, it's been how long? We just know. He said, well, when was it? On the weekend, that he's no closer to getting fit. So if that's the case, put Tell in and have him for 3 games at least.
But that comment saying, if I knew what I knew then, what I know now, I would have made the change. So, but you know it now, so and you can make the change.
But maybe saying, obviously, maybe he's saying we didn't know Solanke was going to be out for so long, so we put Solanke in, and and every step he was like, okay, he was getting closer and he was getting closer, but never quite happened. I think for sure the time would have been when he had surgery. Doesn't make sense. When he has surgery, you know he's going to take at least a bit of time to get back. At that point, you put Tell in. They didn't. They just kept it as it was. Maybe they thought, okay, he could be back at any moment. But now they're at this stage where there's 3 games left of the group stage. So unless Solanke has any chance he's going to be fit for the maybe the games in January, why not make the change? It doesn't make sense to me. But maybe the only reason I can think of why they just persist with it because they just felt he could have been back and they thought it's not worth changing it.
But we're here now with 3 games to go. Dom Solanke has not only got to recover from his injury, but he's got to get match fit as well. Surely that's going to take some time. You know what I mean? And these 3 games, they're crunch games now in the Champions League. We've got a realistic chance of finishing top 8, and we need our players that are fit and available to be in the squad. So if it was down to, I would make the change right now.
Yeah.
There's no reason why not, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's been a big screw up. I don't get why, when he has surgery, you don't make the change then. It doesn't make any sense why they've done it.
Why every year do we screw up our European roster? Like last year we had the whole thing with Jed Spence.
Yeah.
This year we've got the whole thing with Matisse Tell and Dom Solanke. Is what it is at the end of the day. Anyway, let's get into our predicted lineup. We're going to go for 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1, whichever way you want to look at it. In goal, there is actually a conversation to be had for this game because obviously Vicario's our number 1 and he's performing decently at the moment. But we've got Antonin Kinski, who I think he has started a Champions League game this year, hasn't he?
No.
He hasn't.
He started in the
just a
Carabao.
cup game. Is that it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So, but you do have Antonin Kinski there playing his old club. He did mention him in the press conference as well, saying
He was asked about him.
he's got a big future ahead of him. But, the comments that he's made does make me think that it just will be Vicario.
Yeah, I think it will. Look, it's an important game at the end of the day, and we need to win. We need to give ourselves the best shot of getting in that top 8, and that means having your best players. And look, at the end of the day, Vicario is a leader, and we can't treat this game like it's a... Yes, I know we're going to have to rotate, but if there's no need to change your best player, you shouldn't. So we would play Vicario.
So is the only game Kinski's played this year Doncaster?
And Newcastle.
And Newcastle, okay. All right, Vicario's going in goal anyway.
Maybe he'll get the FA Cup.
Draws later, by the way. So Vicario in goal, right back, limited options. So I think Pedro Porro, obviously, is straight in. Left back, I think Jed Spence. Top performance from both of them, to be honest, in the weekend. Let's hope we can see a similar dynamic.
Yeah, I think the big question is, with the short-ish turnaround from Saturday to Tuesday, will they be able to keep up those levels that they showed against Brentford? Just absolutely up and down that wing, like bundles of energy. I've got less of an issue for them for Forest, but this game, will they be able to ride those energy levels? That's the big question.
They should be able to. Centre backs, you're thinking just Romero van der Ven once again? No sign for Kevin Danso?
I don't think so. I think you think so? You think Danso maybe?
I think there's a possibility of it. He left that Van der Ven at the Newcastle away game, He did. So he's not worried to rest players. It is a short turnaround. So it does make me think there's a possibility.
But he did bring off Romero, didn't he? Late in the game. Maybe it's to protect him for this game.
Yeah.
But then Van der Ven, and then he rested Van der Ven against Newcastle. So does they really need to rest him in this game?
Yeah. If I had the choice, I'd obviously play Van der Ven against Newcastle and rest him for this game, in my opinion. But we didn't. And Van der Ven did get the rest, so it does suggest that both of them were going to play. But I wouldn't be surprised if Danso does come in for one of them.
Yeah, which one would it be?
Probably, they both had rest, though, because Romero was suspended. Yeah. So, let's go for both of them. I think it will be, but we have seen in the past, so far this season, Frank's not afraid to rest one of them.
If they need it.
If they need it, yeah. All right, going into the midfield, I think João Palhinha starts this game. He hasn't started the last couple of games.
Bentancur's played how many games in a row?
Bentancur's played a lot of games.
Started the last 3? Or just 2?
He started the last 2. He didn't start Fulham.
But then started PSG.
Yeah. And Arsenal.
I personally, if it was up to me, I would start Bentancur again, if he's fit enough. But yeah, I guess he has started a lot. Does he need a rest? That's the question mark. Does Palhinha come in for that? He said he was going to rotate a bit but keep the same core. Obviously, we're going for the same back 5 that we did play against Brentford. That implies the changes would be further up the pitch.
So Palhinha has started 2 games in the last 5. Arsenal and Fulham. Obviously, both of those games are pretty tragic. But look, I think he holds his own against Slavia Prague, that's for sure.
All right, we're going to João Palhinha.
Next to him, I got a feeling it's going to be Lucas Bergvall. Rested in the last game, didn't even come on, did he?
No, didn't play. Played.
So I think that was in line to start him in this game.
I agree, but is obviously Xavi played 90. Is there any chance he goes Gray again with Bergvall on the 10?
For me, no. I think he might want to keep that same dynamic going into Nottingham Forest and play Bentancur and Archie Gray next to each other going away to Forest. So I think in this game he's going to go for Paulinho, Bergvall, and Xavi has played so little football. So there's no problem putting Xavi back in.
Yeah, I think we need as much technical quality, and especially in Ubure to make up for Paulinho's lack of technical ability. You get Bergvall, you get Xavi in there, that should make up for it. And obviously we're going to be on the front foot in this game, so hopefully those two can link up together. And we haven't seen them. We only seen them start one game, and that was against Newcastle away together.
Yeah.
So we need to see it.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because we're talking about one of João or Bentancur for the 6th position, right? Now we're talking about Bergvall starting this game and Archie Gray starting next to Bentancur. Where does this leave Pape Matar Sarr?
Great question. Maybe Sarr does start, but he came on the right wing. Does he start on the right? No.
He started the right wing in the Europa League final, didn't he? Or he played on the right wing.
He filled in that position. He obviously came on the right wing against Brentford as well. Nearly got a goal.
Is he a right winger now? Is that what we're saying?
Maybe in the absence of Brennan. Yeah, it's a great question. It's not. Where would you really fit him in? Like, you kind of do prefer Gray and Bergvall in the 8. You kind of do prefer João or Bentancur in the 6. Obviously, he's played 10 this season. Is he an alternative to Xavi? I don't know. Unless it's. But I kind of feel like I have a feeling that how Frank sees it. We're looking at it like this, but is how Frank sees it is he's an alternative to Gray and Bergvall's an alternative to Simmons.
Yeah, I mean, there's a good possibility to say that, because how many times have actually Bergvall played
Hasn't
deeper?
really. He's played it on occasion within games like Brighton. He went back to the 8, and that was one of our better displays. And also, I think it was Wolves he did for a bit before he got taken off. But is it just more likely he's going to go maybe João Sarr and Bergvall or Simmons? But Bergvall must start, surely. Unless he goes João Simmons on the left and Bergvall on the 10.
Or he just doesn't play Simmons. He could go Bergvall in the 10 and Sarr in the 8. That's a very big possibility. And it's a good point someone makes as well, that Sarr, this is one of his last games. He's going to the AFCON.
So got to get the most out of him. Squeeze every last drop before
The reality is with Pape, he's not having a good season. I think he had a great start to the season, and he's fallen off terribly.
What do we do?
This is the midfield I kind of want to see.
Yeah, I want to see this midfield.
But there is a part of me that does think he's going to go Bergvall in the 10 and Sarr
Maybe
in the 8.
is any chance he just doesn't go with João and goes Sarr in the 6?
It's not something that we've never seen him do before. But it's a possibility, I guess.
All right, look, we want to see this. It's hard to predict. But we're going to... let's just go with that because I want to see it.
All right, we're going with this 3 in midfield. On the right-hand side of the attack, is he going to go for Kudus, or is he going to switch Odegaard over to the right? Brennan Johnson was obviously a doubt going into the game. Do you think if Brennan Johnson has a late fitness test and he's cleared fit to play, he will start?
No, because if he's touch and go, I would say probably touch and go just for the bench, I would say.
So you think Kudus?
I think Kudus. I think he starts again.
What are our options? So we've got Kudus.
Odegaard.
Kudus, Odegaard.
I mean, Mawani maybe could play there. I mean, but he's more likely to play on the left.
That's it, really.
That's really it. Yeah, Sarr, I guess. Maybe. You could say because he's played there a bit. But yeah, I mean, Odegaard did play. He came on against, who was it? Was it PSG? No.
I guess there's a possibility.
Newcastle. He came on against Newcastle, played on the right.
There's a possibility to put Sarr where Bergvall is and put Bergvall on the left. Because we've seen him do that before.
Yeah, as I'm saying, he could do that as well. He has played Bergvall on the left. But then what are we saying? Odegaard is not starting this game?
Could be Odegaard on the right.
Could be Odegaard on the right. And Kudus has played a lot, hasn't he? When was the last time he didn't play?
Kudus, the
PSG.
last time...
No, he played against PSG.
The last time Kudus didn't start a game was PSG, yeah.
PSG, yeah. He should be all right, shouldn't he, Kudus? I think he'll be. Look, I think we've meddled a lot, but I don't know if you want to. It's such an important game. I wouldn't want to take out Kudus.
Yeah. All right, go Kudus on the right.
Then the question is, I think I would go Odebear on the left with Moani up top.
So Moani has started every game since the Arsenal game. Richarlison has started every game, including the Arsenal game, apart from Newcastle. So he came on the last 15 minutes for the Newcastle game.
But he played 90 on Saturday and Moani went off with like 10 minutes ago or something.
So you think Richarlison drops to the bench and Odebear on the left?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, let's go for that. I'll be happy with that. So Odebear on the left.
So I think Odebear deserves another crack, and I think Moani in the Champions League, he's been really good in the Champions League, hasn't he?
Yeah, fantastic. So, yeah, this is the lineup that we're going to go for. Vicario in goal, Pedro Porro right back, Jed Spence at left back. We've got Cuti Romero, Mickey van der Ven at centre back, João Palhinha, Lucas Bergvall and Javi Simmons in the middle three, Kudus on the right, Odebear on the left, and Kolo Muani up top.
So 4 changes, and that we have kept the core. I think that's Frank. You know what Frank said?
Yeah, I do. There is a part of me that does think Pape's going to start. If Pape does start, I think it will be what we just said: Pape in the middle and Bergvall on the left, and Odebear drops to the bench.
Yeah, you're probably right. If that does happen, yeah.
Or Simmons on the bench and Bergvall on the 10.
But I just hate it. We've just had such a good attacking performance. Just keep it up.
Yeah.
Let's not tinker too much.
But with this lineup, this gives us a great chance to go out there, flex our muscles, and really put Slavia Prague to the sword, man. Like, my prediction for this game will be 3-0 Spurs.
The only problem is, who do we have to come off the bench if things aren't going? We've got Rishi, I guess. Rishi, Sarr, not too maybe Brennan if he's fit. Not too many attacking options off the bench, is there?
Yeah, I guess the plan has got to be to blitz them and then hopefully rest some players towards the end of the game.
Go on, what was your prediction?
3-0 Spurs.
3-0. I am going to go 2-0.
2-0.
2-0 Spurs.
All right. So let's move on to the match preview. And this is a big day. This is a big day at Tottenham Hotspur for a few reasons. First of all, the return of the man. The captain, Son Heung-min, is coming back to Tottenham Hotspur. He's going to be not announced, but, come out in front of the crowd to say his goodbyes. It's going to be an emotional moment. It's going to be the unveiling of his mural outside the stadium as well. So just from that aspect alone, it's going to be quite an emotional day, and I can't wait for it, to be honest. I can't wait to see. He's going to break down in tears in front of everyone before the game, isn't he?
Is he going to bring the trophy out?
Yeah, he's got to.
He's got to bring
the trophy out.
Get the captain. Give him the captain's armband.
Yeah.
Come on, and I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to seeing him back. And obviously, I did get to say goodbye to him in career personally, but obviously most Tottenham fans haven't been able to because he literally just went straight from career to LA, and it was always felt just wrong the way it all ended. Not that I'm sure he didn't want it to end like that, but that's just how football works sometimes. So I'm delighted that we finally going to get this moment in front of the Spurs fans. I'm really looking forward to what he's got to say, and I'm sure he's going to get a great reception from everyone, the players as well, and maybe it'll just give the players that little bit extra as well going into the game, seeing their old captain again. And I think there's something that's gone under the radar as well, which I think some people have pointed out, do the squad miss him leadership wise?
I think they do.
You've seen players snapping at each other sometimes, and there's been, I know right now, we just got a good win, and I'm watching training, it does seem like a happy place, but I feel like Sonny was such a key cog in that dressing room to keep everyone together. He was friends with everyone. He was with all the friendship groups, and now he's gone. I don't know if anyone's really taken up the mantle in the way that Sonny used to do in the dressing room, and I think that's something that's really missing. So hopefully he gets to see everyone and have a few words with everyone as well. Yeah,
I think so. And look, get him doing the team talk before the game in the changing room. That's what I say. But it's going to be a great moment. Time for Sonny to say, so we can fully close the chapter on that book. Unfortunately, we're going to have to, because, like you said, no Spurs fan, no, really, apart from you, and all the fans in Korea were able to say goodbye to him. So I think now, in this game, in this moment, it's time to fully, close the book, to close the chapter on that story. And so we'll be there covering everything, and will be taking a trip to the mural. I saw it kind of like half done at the last game against Brentford, but it's going to be great to see it like fully done, and yeah, it's just going to be emotional because, you know, we all love Sonny so much, and this is it. This is the end, the official end. But
if your emotions couldn't handle all those goodbye videos in the summer,
yeah,
it's going to take another hit in this time. It's going to all come flooding back.
Yeah, absolutely. Another aspect is obviously it's a big Champions League night, and we were just going through the fixtures of all the other teams tomorrow night and Wednesday night, and I think pretty much every team that is above us are playing each other, which is quite mad when you're thinking about it, like how the fixtures have kind of turned out. So if Spurs win this tomorrow, it's a very good chance that we're going to be in the top 8 come to the last 2 games of the group stages, and that leaves us in a really good position. So that's why this game is so important, man.
Yeah, and there's no better opportunity than playing a team at home like Slavia, who are currently 31st out of 36 teams, haven't won a game yet in the Champions League group stages. So there's no reason to not really go at them tomorrow and really just try, like, blitz them early, try get the 3 points, knock their confidence. And if we do that, if we can get into that top 8 going into the last 2 games, I know they're tough, Dortmund and Frankfurt, 2 German teams, but there's no chance to be, that we can't be confident if we're in that top 8, that we can finish in that top 8 and just avoid that extra playoff game. Because right now, you'd have to say there's no guarantees if we get to that playoff game we make it out of there. So if we can get into that last 16, that would be so crucial. Just take the pressure off a bit as well. Give us something to look forward to later down the line in the season. So I think being in that top 8 is really, really crucial for us this season. Yeah. And it'll be great as well for Frank in his first Champions League campaign. If he can finish in that top 8, that, you know, give him confidence in himself that he's definitely at home at this level. And, you know, that'll give him a good platform to build off. So I think it's a really important game tomorrow. And off the back of a great performance against Brentford, we also need to keep that momentum going with the performance level and the results at home. We need to keep that good feeling at the Tottenham Stadium. And I know Slavia Prague is not like the most glamorous tie, but people need to realise it's a very important game, and I think the fans should be up for it.
Yeah, the fans will be up for it, and you're looking at that Copenhagen game, and, you know, Copenhagen's probably a more difficult game than Slavia, and we just need to take that energy that we showed in the Copenhagen game and just, you know, it's exactly the same. Just go again, do the same things, and we'll play them off the park. You're looking at Slavia. They actually haven't lost too many games in the Champions League. They've drawn a fair amount. Just looking at their games, they drew at home 2-2 with Bodo Glimt. Then they lost 3-0 away to Inter. They drew away to Atalanta. So that's a really decent result.
They're probably above us, Atalanta.
0-0. Then they lost 3-0 at home to Arsenal. They drew 0-0 with Athletic Bilbao, and that's their game. So they've actually taken points of some decent teams, Atalanta and Athletic Bilbao.
Yeah, they're quite a defensive team. They usually play, I've seen 3 at the back when they play away from home against top teams. So they like to be very defensively solid. They've conceded 8 goals, but as you say, in 2 of those games it was 3 each. So in the other 3, they've only conceded 2 goals. So they kept 2 clean sheets as well. So they can be a tough nut to crack, that's for sure. Although offensively they've only scored 2 goals. So you got to feel, I think looking at those stats, you feel like you got to be confident we can keep a clean sheet against a team that have only scored 2 goals, and I believe both of them have been from a defender. So like their attack hasn't really clicked in the Champions League so far this season. So I think that's even more reason to take the lessons what you got from Brentford. We're playing against a team who likes to sit back, who's going to soak up pressure, who clearly are not very good at going forward at this level. So you've just, again, this is another prime example of a game that you have to trust your own qualities, and we have to go into this game looking at the strength of our team, going at them, and we know if we play to our strengths, we're going to win this game. We shouldn't be too worried about what they're going to offer going behind us. We've got to focus about how do we break them down, how do we attack them, and how can we hurt them. If we do that, I'm pretty certain we're going to win this game.
It'll be interesting to see what the kind of dynamic for Slavia Prague going into this game is, because they're sitting on 3 points, right, with 3 draws. The top 24 obviously go through to the next round there. The last place of that 24 is on 6 points. So they're within 3 points touching distance. They need to pick up points. And their last 3 games is us, Barcelona and Paphos last game. So you think maybe they can beat Paphos in the last game. They'll look at that being like, okay, that's where maybe 3 points can be had. But they need to start. They need at least 3 points from one of us or Barcelona, surely, if they've got any hopes of getting in that top 4. So it'll be interesting what kind of dynamic they come into this game. Do they actually come and try and have a go? Do they sit back and try to hit us on the counter attack? If they do sit back and we score early, like what kind of dynamic are we going to see from Slavia Prague? What's their game plan going to be? It's going to be interesting.
Question. There have been some at home to Bilbao. They did go for a back 4, so they did change it up a bit. Clearly, they were trying to go and win that game, but they did obviously draw 0-0. They didn't weren't able to score, but there was evidence that they did change up a bit in other games because if they saw an opportunity to try and win it. So do they see that opportunity against us tomorrow? I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest, because obviously
if it's us or Barcelona,
yeah. And we have obviously haven't been in great form at home for a lot of the season. Albeit both Champions League games at home we have won, but without conceding. Do they feel like the best way of trying to win is frustrating us and then maybe getting a set piece with that defender to score a goal? Is that their best course of action, or do they try and attack us and try and leave no stone unturned and just try and go for it? And if they lose, they lose. I don't really know. All I can go on is what they have done is away from home. They've usually gone with a back 3. So I think it'll probably benefit us if they don't, probably, because I think it leaves more space for our attackers and we got the superior quality. So either way, we shouldn't be worried. But this is what I'm saying. Either approach, I don't know which one they're going to do, but I think Tottenham should go into this game not bothered about that. They shouldn't even be thinking about that. They should be thinking about what can we do and how can we break them down and how can we score goals. And if we do that, it shouldn't matter what formation Slavia play.
Because they've proven so far in this Champions League that they can keep clean sheets against good opposition. They kept a clean sheet against Bilbao. They kept a clean sheet against Atalanta. I'm not sure. Were both of them at home? I think one of them was away, one of them at home. So even
away to Atalanta, I think.
Yeah, so they prove they can go to a hard stadium in Atalanta and keep a clean sheet, albeit they didn't score, but they've kept a clean sheet. I feel like they will sit back and they will try and soak up pressure and they will try and hit us on the break and try for some set pieces and stuff like that and try and shithouse a win against us. But from that aspect, I think it's so important for us to hit the ground running in this game, go at them early. Thrive off the fans and try and get that early goal. If we can get that early goal, I just think like they're going to panic a little bit and they'll probably throw a few men forward because they know they need to get something out of this game to stay in the Champions League essentially. So if we do get that early goal, I think the floodgates could open a little bit here.
Yeah, and I think you'll see the confidence start to flow through this team. I think you saw it against Brentford. I think we started confident, but as soon as we got that goal, you just see everyone was looking more confident, more relaxed, and we started to create chance after chance against Copenhagen as well. We started that game pretty well, but as soon as we got that goal, all of a sudden the floodgates kind of opened and we really took them to the sword. So I think knowing what a big game it is, with Sonny watching on, I think it's vital we get off to a really positive start. Just settle the crowd down, get them loud, get them cheering on the team, and then hopefully if we have a good first half and we break them down early and get a goal or two, it should sort itself out, the game.
Do you reckon Sonny sits on the bench or sits in the director's box? Where's he sitting tomorrow?
I mean, probably the director's box. Sonny,
get him in the south stand, man.
I would love that, but Sonny, south stand, that's for sure. Sonny, I don't think Sonny's the type of guy. He knows like the game. Unfortunately, it's not about him. It's about the team winning, right? So I don't think he's going to want to do anything to distract the team from the job at hand. So I do think he'll be on in a box or something, but. Yeah, look, he's going to come out before and at half-time, I read. So hopefully we'll see a lot of him.
Yeah. Spurs have actually... So there was rumours before that he was going to do before and at half-time. Spurs have only announced that he's coming out before the game. So we'll have to wait and see. So everyone...
not half-time.
Well, there's conflicting reports on it. Officially, they've only said before the game. But if you are going, get in your seats early. Make sure you give the man the applause and the goodbye that he deserves, because if anyone deserves a massive send-off, it's Son Heung-min. And I'm sure the stadium's going to be in full voice for him tomorrow and for the team.
Yeah, absolutely. In terms of our players going into it, like Xavi and Moani have looked quite good Xavi didn't play against PSG, but against Copenhagen,
he looked very good.
Very good. Moani's looked really good in the Champions League. He seems to really understand this level more than most of our other players. I think he's obviously looked great. So I think hopefully those two can really continue what they're showing in the Champions League and get on the score sheet again. I think that's vital.
Yeah, absolutely. We just need our players to flex their muscles and just really to perform at a top level and try and blow this Slavia Prague team like we know we can. We blew Brentford away, and now it's time to go, and we blew Copenhagen away, and now we need to blow Slavia Prague away. And if we do that, a realistic chance of finishing in that top 8. And we all looked at these fixtures when they first came out and been like, look, we've got a genuine chance of finishing in top 8, and here we are with 3 games to go with that genuine chance.
It's mad if you look at the 11 teams that are currently in the bottom, or who are currently heading out of the Champions League in the bottom 11, 5 of them we faced.
Yeah.
So 5 of our 8 games are going to be against teams who are likely to go out.
Yeah, mad.
Which is, you couldn't have asked for a better set of fixtures, could you?
Yeah.
So we've got no excuse, do we?
No excuse whatsoever, albeit Frankfurt away and Dortmund at home in our last 2 games are difficult games.
Yeah.
They are difficult games. So it starts here. If we win here, we put ourselves in a great position. And then we welcome Dortmund to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And we got a good record against Dortmund, to be fair. This Dortmund team bit up and down this season. So, look, if we come into this Dortmund game, 3 wins out of 3 at home, no goals conceded, then I think we'll go into it with a lot of confidence. But we need to do our job tomorrow night first and foremost. And once we do that job, then we leave ourselves in a really good chance. But we have to blow them away from the first minute, because if we give them any encouragement and we struggle to break them down, the performance is a bit kind of like not fluid, and we're struggling to progress the ball, then we give Slavia Prague that kind of hope in the game. And you don't want to do that, because if it's going into 0-0, going into the second half, going into the last half an hour, then you're leaving it to chance and anything can happen. It can go off someone's backside from a 30-yard ranger, or, we don't step up to the edge of the box and we leave someone free on the edge of the box and they score a worldie, you know what I mean? So I think it's so important to just go out there 100 million miles per hour and get that early goal in the first 10, 15, 20 minutes. And then I think we can cruise this game.
Yeah, we just need to see the same attitude we saw on the weekend and not how we started the game against Fulham in that manner. Can't start slowly. Can't take this game for granted. I think we won the risk of underestimating them, I think. If we start the game slowly and just expect things to happen and expect to roll them over, we need to go out there and take it. We can't just wait for it to happen. And I think we've been guilty of way too much of doing that this season, just thinking we can turn up and not be proactive. And I think it's very key we do that tomorrow.
Yeah, and like every time this season we've had a positive performance and we think, all right, we're really turning a corner, the next game has been poor. So that needs to change, and it's a big opportunity for us from a lot of aspects tomorrow night. So let's go do it tomorrow. All in white, under the lights, European night at the Lane. No better opportunity for Spurs to go and smash the opposition.
And I think most importantly, we just need to keep that momentum going. We've got a good feeling at the moment, getting that draw against Newcastle, winning against Brentford. I know it's only 2 games, so you can't exactly say it's a great run of form, but it's been so seldom that we've seen that this season. We need to harness that, and we can't allow this momentum to get away from us.
One shot on target in the first half is improving the form. That's how bad it's been.
So I think we've got some decent momentum now. Obviously, it's not that much momentum because 1 bad result and it all washes away, but 2 games. Frank, I think, needs another good result here. He needs to keep this good feeling going. Momentum is a very, very powerful thing in football. As soon as it gets going for you, all of a sudden it breeds confidence. It breeds all of a sudden the players are showing that little bit extra. They're trying that one more thing that they weren't trying before. They're less scared of making mistakes. They're looking more confident in the back line as well. They're less worried about what their opposition are going to do, and they're thinking about what they're going to do. And I think that is so important that we keep this season. Hopefully the Brentford game was a real kind of lightning rod for that this season, and I think that's going to be so important, and we need to keep that going against Slavia. We really need to keep that good feeling going, because all of a sudden you go 3 games unbeaten, and you're on your winning games. Then you go into Forest, and we've got a good away record. Maybe we get a win there, and then you got Liverpool, who are not playing very well, and all of a sudden it can snowball into something really good. So we just need to make sure we keep it up.
Absolutely. I see people in the comments saying, Ben, how is winning putting us in the top 8? We would need all 10 teams above us to lose. Well, everyone above us is playing each other. So a lot of teams above us are going to be dropping points over the next couple of days. So that's why it's so important for us to win this game.
And it's not 10 teams, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 8 teams, I guess, not far from 10, but 8 teams that we need to overlap. But a lot of them are playing each other.
Yeah, so it's a big opportunity, like I said. So it's not guaranteed we'll be in the top 8 if we win, but there's a chance. There's a big chance.
We'll be very close to it, even if we're not there. We'll be like probably 1 or level points with whoever's in 8th.
Exactly. And you know, if we can actually go out there and smash them and, you know, do wonders for the goal difference.
Yeah.
You know, we just won 4-0 at against Copenhagen, and we only lost by 1 goal in PSG. So our goal difference is looking good.
+3 at the moment.
Yeah, so it's not bad. So if we can go there and do 3-4, then our goal difference is looking really healthy.
And look, and also I know Dortmund's a tough game, but we're at home, and look, I guess at home's a bad thing, but hopefully the home from can start to turn around. And Frankfurt, we went there and won last year, didn't we? And they haven't. I don't know if they've been as good this year as they were last year. So obviously they got battered 5-1 by Liverpool, didn't they?
They're 28th in the Champions League group.
And they're 20th, so they're not doing very well. So there's no reason why, you know, we can't be confident going to his last 2 games.
And they're 7th in the Bundesliga as well. So they're not having as good of a season as they had last year. But look, big night at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Me and Sim are both going to the game for the first time. I don't remember the last time. Last time I probably went with you to a game was PSG, Paris, but at home.
Home, yeah. Not this season.
Last season at some point.
Yeah, probably Boda.
Yeah. Wow, that's a long time ago. It feels like a world away, that Bodo game. But you're going to have to deal with Brian and Stelios on the watch along tomorrow. So that should be an interesting watch.
We better win.
we better win. So tune in for that at about 7:45, and we'll be bringing you content from in and around the ground all night tomorrow night. So keep an eye out for that as well. I want to know your score predictions in the comment section below. I want to know who you think is going to start the game in the comment section below as well. But thank you everyone for joining us today. Like, subscribe and comment, and as always, come on you Spurs.